He signed deals without reading them and trusted the wrong people, and by the time he realized what had happened, he was already trapped. This is a story of Offset, Wack100, and millions of dollars, where the truth is being kept from the public. Before diving into that situation, it's important to understand something crucial about the rap game. The business side is cold, ice cold, and no one knows that better than Offset himself, a man who survived the trenches of the music industry and gained wisdom only experience can teach. Many fans might think rappers are just living lavish lives, popping bottles, and buying exotic cars, but the reality is far harsher. Labels and managers take advantage of young artists' hunger, ambition, and dreams, and when you're desperate to make it, you'll sign almost anything put in front of you. On Club Shay, Offset spoke candidly about how young artists get caught in situations that can haunt them for years, showing just how tricky and unforgiving the industry is. The game, and it's crucial for everyone watching to understand what Offset is revealing, because it lays the foundation for the whole conversation. He's showing exactly how the industry really works, which is why so many people instantly assumed he would clash with Wack100 when this story came out. Wack has long been accused of using the same kind of schemes on his artists, following the very playbook that major labels have relied on for decades. Make sure everyone caught what Offset just said, because this is crucial to understanding the whole finessing conversation. When an album drops, the label can make millions off your music, and even after recouping what they gave you, you're still drowning in debt from all the expenses they charge to your account. That's a finesse. That's a game the industry has been running on artists since the Motown days, and it hasn't changed. This brings us directly to Wack100 and why people would immediately believe a story about him finessing an artist. Wack has been in the music industry for decades, managing high-profile names like The Game and Blueface, and is deeply connected to West Coast politics and street organizations. His reputation with artist contracts and business dealings has been under heavy scrutiny for years. According to DJ academics and multiple sources, Wack allegedly signed Blueface to a deal that takes 70% of his earnings, 50% as a label and another 20% as a manager. That's double dipping, a blatant conflict of interest where no one is truly looking out for the artist. But here's the thing, the tension between Offset and Wack100 isn't really about contracts or money. It's personal, tied to the people closest to them. Wack has a long-standing relationship with Cardi B, dating back before she and Offset were together, and has always shown her respect. So when Offset and Cardi's very public issues played out across social media and entertainment news, Wack inevitably got pulled into the middle of their drama, whether he wanted to be or not.
Well, you threatened to expose some information about Offset involving some of the drama with Cardi B.
Who?
You.
Oh, I kept the exposure from happening. You know, I got phone calls from people outside of Offset.
Check this out. Wack openly admitted on camera that he had information that could have seriously damaged Offset's reputation, but he consciously chose to keep it private. Why? Because of his long-standing respect for Cardi B and their years-long relationship. But before he decided to hold back, Wack had already publicly put Offset on blast. He posted on his Instagram story, "Little weird-ass Noah, I told you keep me out your emotional shit." Here's where things get really messy. Blueface, one of Wack's own artists, reportedly shared damaging info about Offset, allegedly involving Christian rock while Offset was still married to Cardi B. The timing was explosive, given the tensions between Blueface and Christian at the time. Offset was furious and immediately called Wack, trying to get him control his artist and stop the story from spreading before it caused even more damage.
He's blaming me for what Blueface is doing. I didn't agree with Blueface for what he did.
What did Blueface do?
Well, he posted, I don't know if it was text messages, pictures, I don't know what it was, right? Of Offset and Rashawn around, right? I wake up to it. I guess it's on Twitter somewhere. I don't be on Twitter, I don't know. My phone's going crazy, right? It's Offset. He's telling me, only thing I'm hearing is Blueface. I call Blueface, hey man, what the f is going on?
Offset assumed that Wack was behind the exposure, thinking he had given Blueface the green light to spill his business. But Wack maintains that he had no knowledge of it until it was already happening online. Blueface was acting independently, making his own moves without consulting his manager. At first, Wack was ready to step back entirely and let Blueface go all the way with the information, frustrated at being blamed for something he insists he didn't orchestrate. Then he got a phone call that changed everything. Cardi B herself reached out. She told Wack, "Look, we're already separated. This really isn't my business anymore, and I don't want to be dragged into it." But she asked him respectfully to contain the situation and prevent it from escalating, and out of respect for their friendship, Wack obliged. Because of Cardi's intervention, the drama between her, Offset, and Wack ultimately de-escalated. But that wasn't even the part of the story that had the streets buzzing. The real heat came from the infamous dice game incident, the one that allegedly sparked a whole war. This is a story that's been told, retold, disputed, confirmed, denied, and debated across every hip-hop platform, podcast, and social media feed for years. We're talking about the dice game between Offset and 42 Dugg at QC Studios back in 2019, with Wack100 present that night. He has been the primary narrator of the event, recounting it in multiple interviews and podcasts, and according to his detailed account, this is exactly how that fateful evening went down.
What is going on with 42 Dugg and you? He clapped back. You said Offset ran his pockets in the studio.
That's not what I said.
What'd you say?
I said you tried to leave the dice game. Offset wasn't going for it. He went outside. He was walking away.
See, Wack is clarifying something important here. He never actually said that Offset straight up robbed Dugg or took his money. That's not the story he's been telling. What he said is that Offset confronted Dugg for leaving the dice game early, right when it was Offset's turn to roll and he was on a hot streak.
What, tapping pockets is like, I'm gonna rob you, but it's like metaphorically, I'm like figuring out if you have anything to steal.
42 Dugg had a bunch of money in both his pockets. You know, he got skinny jeans on, so both down his pockets. Offset didn't take too kind to him walking away from the dice game when it was Offset dice. He was in him 20,000.
So you can't just walk away from the dice game? No. That's a violation.
Let me break down exactly what Wack says went down that night so everyone can follow the full sequence of events. This was 2019, the final day of the Lil Baby tour in Atlanta. Wack had brought Blueface specifically to record a song with Offset. That was the main reason they were at the studio that night. He called Pierre P to open QC Studios so they could get the session in. Now, for those unfamiliar with dice game etiquette, this next part is key. If someone is on a hot streak, hitting their numbers and building momentum, you don't just grab your money and walk. That's seen as major disrespect to both the shooter and the game itself. You stay and let them finish their role. According to Wack's account, that's when things escalated and turned physical.
Now, QC Studios, that gate don't open on motion. You got to open from inside the building. Offset jumps up and trails behind him. I come behind him. I got a few of the schoolyards with me because we on tour. Offset walks right up and Doug's walking away from him, grabs his left pocket. There's money bulging out of it. He didn't take the money out of his pocket, right? I don't know if he was attempting to take it or he was just trying to turn him around or what it was. Nevertheless, Dugg ends up turning around. When he turned around, Offset fired.
In the face.
Right in the face.
According to Wack's detailed account, Offset followed Dugg outside and grabbed at his pocket, where the money was visibly bulging through his skinny jeans. Dugg turned around to see what was happening, and Offset landed a clean punch right to his face. Then, Wack says he started counting to see if there would be any reaction. 1, 2, 1,000. But 42 Dugg didn't move. No swing back, no retaliation. Nothing. Here's the part that really shook everyone and flipped the narrative. When 42 Dugg went on Instagram Live, calling Wack a liar and denying everything happened the way Wack described, Wack did something unexpected. He pulled up the direct messages from Offset himself.
So Offset says, nah, Unc is right. I gotta respect what he's saying. They go back in the building. I tell him, open the motherfucking, that's from Offset. See the date. Scroll down.
Wednesday.
That's Dugg doing his rant. What the fuck did Offset say to me?
Why this N-word lying? Oh.
See, one thing about Wack, I got the content. I recited everything that happened, right?
But 42 Dugg refused to let this narrative slide. He went on Instagram Live and shared a completely different version of that night, staking not just his reputation, but even his mother's name on it.
Listen, I can show you just prior to that, Offset cussing me out.
For what?
Because of the Blueface shit. cussing me the f out, going crazy on me.
But no love lost, because when the Doug thing came up, he was...
No, but it's gonna lead to this. What does he say? You my what?
You my uncle. These texts is crazy.
It wasn't about Quo wanting to be the star. It wasn't about no female drama like people tried to fabricate with the whole seedy situation. It was about business, plain and simple. Offset wanted a bigger piece of what they as a group were generating together. And the business structure they were operating under wasn't allowing for that growth. He had a family to feed, and he needed to see more money coming his way.
And I was by myself with $100,000. They tried me, bro. Right or wrong, they tried me. They surrounded me, told me, I ain't giving a rich nigga shit. And my mama can die right now.
Where me, you, and Squeeze catch niggas at, dog?
Got it. My mama could die if I'm lying, bro. I didn't get them niggas a dime, bro. And I was by myself, Gotti. Who you know doing that? Who you know leaving somewhere with 100,000 surrounded by 12 niggas hoes and leave out that bitch with all his money, all his jewelry?
42 Doug put it on his mama. That's as serious as it gets in the streets. You don't invoke your mother's name unless you're telling the absolute truth. He insisted, emphatically, that he didn't give up a single dime to anyone, walking out of the situation with all his money and jewelry intact. That's a bold statement to make on camera for the world to see. But Doug didn't stop there. He even hinted at serious retaliation that allegedly went down after that night. That's a heavy claim coming from DJ Academics, who has known and worked with Wack for years, and even he admitted he can't fully verify everything Wack has said, that a lot of people in the culture tried to tie all this drama together, the business conflicts, street politics, and relationship issues, to explain why Migos ultimately split up. Conspiracy theories were flying left and right, but when Offset sat down, he set the record straight. In 2023, when Keke Palmer asked him directly about the Migos disbanding, he was completely honest, sharing his side of the story and what truly